April 16th, 2025, regular meeting of the Inland Wetlands Agency. Lisa, could you please call the roll?
Daniel Bedecker.
Here.
Ranjit Bahav. Brian Black.
Here.
Jim Connors.
Here.
Matthew Connors.
Here.
Steve Munson. Nick Ritchie.
Here.
Julie Valvo.
Here.
Buddy Field. Ray Gradwell.
Here.
Ray.
Here.
Brendan Magnan.
Here. Great. Thanks, Lisa. Just as a reminder to everyone in attendance, in accordance with, just before we proceed with the statutory reminders, Commissioner Gradwell, please serve as designating alternate this evening. Thank you. As we continue to host remote meetings, please keep in mind that in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act and Governor Lamont's executive orders, this meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the City of Milford website, and is being streamed on YouTube as we speak. If anyone from the public or any of the applicants wish to be recognized by the chair, please state your name and address before speaking after being recognized by me. And remember, everything is within the jurisdiction of Milford Inland Wetlands. That means we're not a zoning or planning commission. We are here to regulate the activities in and around wetlands, brooks, rivers, floodings, and wetland habitat. Could I ask everyone to unmute your lines and stand me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Terrific. Thanks, Mary Rose, for sharing the flag. And if everybody could please mute themselves, we'll move on to public comments. Is there anyone here wishing to address the agency from the public? I'm not seeing anyone other than commission members. Is that right, Mary Rose?
The watchers, one of the applicants was in, it looks like they're getting back in now, but I don't see any other members of the public that would want to speak on items that are not on the agenda.
Okay, so moving on to item C. Mary Rose, can you introduce item C, D1, which is the, well, I'll let you introduce it.
Okay. D1 is notice of violation IWC 25004 at 64 Quarry Road. The agency at our last meeting upheld a violation and modified a violation for work within 100 feet of wetlands and watercourses in the Indian River watershed without benefit of permit at 64 Quarry Road. At that meeting, the agency required a number of items to be done. It's in the notes, but I'm just gonna enumerate it really quickly for the record. We modified the order to require properly installed erosion control by April 10th. The site was checked today. I had gone by there last week, but I went by and took pictures today. That the soil and erosion controls are in. There's a portion of it that needs to be adjusted. There's some disturbed soil that you can see in my sidewalk pictures behind the fence, and the fence needs to encompass all of the disturbed soils. So Mr. Lee was informed of that this morning. Item 2 was to hire a soil scientist and to determine the correct limits of the current limits of the wetlands and to propose a mitigation plan. I spoke with Mr. Lee on the 14th. He and his surveyor have been trying to contact Bill Kenny, who were the original surveyor, soil scientist on the property, to get him out there. I'm not sure if that has happened as of yet. That deadline was for mid-May. And the agency ordered that by May 12th, there'd be an A2T2 survey performed to show the extent of the work and the change from the as-built that we have from 2 years ago. Paul Stoll was the original surveyor on the project. He's done a preliminary map. He's waiting for the soil scientists to get out there so he can complete that work. So that's well underway. And by the 12th of May, to submit a detailed mitigation and planting plan or mitigation plan by the professional wetland scientist. Again, the property owner's waiting on Mr. Kenny to respond. Other than that, Mr. Lee has been checking in. He appears to be on track to meet his deadlines in the agency's order. And he has been contacted about adjusting his silt fence.
Anything further to update on that matter, Mayor Rose? Or is that okay. Just to clarify on the fence, did he acknowledge your guidance that update, or are you waiting for his acknowledgement on that?
We had exchanged emails. His landscaper was doing the fence, so I'm imagining that he ricocheted it to the landscaper and is waiting for the landscaper to come back and fix it and call for an inspection. But I'll double check with him again tomorrow, or I'll send him an email after this meeting.
Okay, great. So would you recommend taking no action this time?
I would recommend no action at this time. He's at, he needs to wait for his professionals to get in line to finish the job. And so we can't really change any of those timelines until we know what the professionals' timelines are.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr.
I just had a quick question. I saw in the notes that they only replaced 2 of the 4 markers. Was there any explanation as to why, or what's holding that up?
Yes, Mr. Lee said that he had put 2 in, but had waited on the other 2 because he wanted to wait for the surveyor to make sure he was locating him in the right spot. So if on your screen now should be my site walk pictures from this morning. You can see the silt fence is in place to the left of the garage. The wetlands are just behind it here. The piles of material had been here. This is looking out towards the street from the opposite direction. There's a little bit of loam and there's seed and some straw. This is the disturbance behind the fence that I'm worried about. I want the fence moved to behind the disturbance so that in the rains, this doesn't erode over into this wetland. This is one of the fence posts with a boundary marker. The other 2 were more forward. This was the rear yard where the soil came from. This is the second one, which is in the backyard, or in the back, kind of where the property goes off to a small point. And these are the 2 waiting to be reinstalled in the front of the property. And that's sorry.
The only question I had was basically, so when they do the survey, there's a chance that the wetland could have moved, correct?
The wetland didn't move. There may be dirt on top of it. So he wants to, I want the professional wetland scientist to locate the wetland, and then the surveyor to locate that. And then we can compare the as-built to what's in place now. And if there needs to be stuff removed, we remove it. And then we get those fence posts back where they belong.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Connors. Okay, so hearing no further questions, let's move on to item E1 on new business. Mayor Rose, can you introduce this one, please?
Mr. Kavanaugh, this is a public meeting. The public portion was earlier. Do you have an item on this agenda?
I'm with Gregory and Tracy Walker.
Okay,
at
great.
39 Ashwood Road.
All right, we're just getting to that item right now. If you'll hold on a second, we can get through the procedures we have to get to that item. Okay.
I can be patient. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining. As you asked, Mr. Chairman, this is item E1, IW 250013, 39 Ashwood Road. It's a proposal by Greg and Tracy Watcher, the property owners, for a 1-story rear and 2-story side addition with a stormwater system for compliance with MS4. I'm going to just share the map while you're listening to me talk so we can multitask. There we go. It's minor work within about 100 feet of a wetland in the South Central Shoreline watershed. There are no wetlands on the Watchers property. Wetlands were located on the privately held open space to the east of this site. It's denoted approximately by this green line that was brought in from the as-built from that property. The approximate 100-foot upland review line is this green line here. Make that a little bit bigger for you. There you go.
Sorry, Mary Rose. Mr. Kavanaugh, can you mute your line, please? Thank you.
I muted. So there's no wetlands on the Watchers property. It's on the adjacent open space that's privately held. There is a fence at the property line, and a garage and shed and driveway are right next to that fence. And that's between the open space over here. You've got the fence, you have their property line, the fence, their driveway and garage. There's a play area here. This is the proposed stormwater system to comply with MS4. And their additions are off the back is a 1-story addition, and off the side is a 2-story addition. There's a shed here now that you'll see in my sidewalk pictures that will be taken down when this is constructed. And here, they're proposing silt fence to run, roughly from the side of the yard in front of the playground to the back of the garage, and the garage would hold anything from running in that direction. Site documentation, so I can show you the photos of the site. This is standing on the side road, Franklin Road. This is a corner lot, so this photo is standing on the side road. This is the open space. The Watchers property line is somewhere in here. There's their garage and there's their fence. This is same thing from Franklin Road looking in the opposite direction. Their garage, their fence, their side yard. In this photo, I'm standing by the fence and the edge of the garage looking up. There'll be a rear 1-story addition here. And on the side of the house, there'll be a 2-story addition going this way. With this shed to be removed, stormwater will be placed somewhere in this area, and silt fence will run roughly right off the picture. Here is the edge of the garage around to about where the shed is. I'm sorry, erosion control. This would be stormwater. So that would be the silt fence, rear addition, side addition, and just for perspective, but I realize now this is kind of hard to see. Walking into the woods behind their house, there's a small little wet area. It's a potential vernal pool, a seasonal pond. So you can see that. You can barely make out the fence, and you can kind of make out the second story of the house, but that's a perspective to give you distance. And if we go back to the map with the distance. Okay.
Great.
So my understanding is the excess dirt from the excavation would be used in uneven areas of the yard and then taken off site. This open space was part of the Santaway Meadows subdivision. I used that map to mark up the applicant's plan to give a rough idea of where that wetland is in relation to their home. For distances, your stormwater system is approximately 75 feet from the wetland. The rear addition is about 98, and the second story side addition is about 104 feet from the wetland line. Mr. and Mr. Watcher are here this evening along with their contractor, Mr. Kavanaugh. Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thanks, Mary Rose, for the overview. To the Watcher family, is there anything you would like to add to the record that Mary Rose may have left out? If you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Hi,
We're Greg and Tracy Wachter. We've lived in Milford in this house for, I think, 7 years. Love the town, love being a resident here. We have 2 children, a 3.5-year-old and a 6-month-old. So this addition is very much the growing with our family addition that we're eager to hopefully get started as soon as possible. So we can have a little more room for the kids. And that's our personal bit, I think. Do you have anything else? Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks for the intro. And thanks for coming before the office. Mayor Rose has done a good job of giving us the information we need to make a decision. There may be some questions that we have, so I'm going to open it up for the commissioners. And I guess before I do that, just to acknowledge, we are all Milford residents ourselves. We volunteer. Our role here is to serve and uphold the statutes, the Connecticut statutes. So questions from the commissioners? Either questions for Mary Rose or for the applicant? Mr. Gradwell?
It looks like Mary Rose has described this application very, very well. And it looks like the Kavanaugh folks and the Watchers are proposing some, stormwater MS4 improvements as well. So I would be in support of this application on behalf of the Watchers and our contractor.
Thank you, Mr. Gradwell.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments or questions? So before us this evening, we can consider a number of options. We can authorize Mary Rose as the designated agent to issue a jurisdictional ruling. We can ask that the applicant bring before us a full application.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
A few options. Mr. Connors.
I don't think it would need a full application. I think the location of the addition seems to be in a great spot in terms of the best spot possible on the property, lowest impact on the wetland, and all the sedimentation and erosion controls are in place, and the stormwater. I think we can do a jurisdictional ruling.
Thank you, Mr. Connors. Mr. Ritchie.
I was just going to ask if you want me to make the motion. I'll be willing to make it for the.
As you wish. I'm willing to entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the designated agent issue a jurisdictional ruling for W25-39 Ashwood Road for the proposed 23 by 31 addition with minor work within 100 feet of the wetlands in the south central shoreline watershed as shown on the plan entitled Tracy Wachter 39 Ashwood Road, Milford, Connecticut drainage plan by Fairfield County Engineering. 2 sheets dated 4/4/25, revised 4/10/25 in this file. This action will have no impact or effect on the physical characteristics of the adjacent wetlands and watercourses. This is my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
I believe Ms. Valvo seconded that. Do we have any discussion on the motion? Great. If there's no discussion, Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Daniel Bedecker,
Aye.
Brian Black,
Aye.
Jim Connors. Jim?
Aye.
Okay. Matthew Connors,
Aye.
Nick Ritchie,
Aye.
Julie Valvo,
Aye.
Ray Gradwell,
Aye.
Brendan Magnan.
Aye. The motion carries unanimously. To the Watchers and Mr. Kavanaugh, good luck on your project. Please confer with Mary Rose if you have any questions along the way in regards to the wetlands.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming before the agency.
Bye-bye.
Okay, moving on to moving on to item F, consideration of the minutes from the previous meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the April 2nd regular meeting as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Connors has made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Yep, yep.
Mr. Gradwell, I believe, got that one. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Daniel Bedecker,
Aye.
Brian Black,
Aye.
Jim Connors,
Staying, I wasn't there.
okay, Matthew Connors,
Aye.
Nick Ritchie,
Aye.
Julie Valvo,
Aye.
Ray Gradwell,
Aye.
Brendan Magnan.
Aye. Thank you. The motion carries. Thanks again, Lisa, for doing those so well. Moving on to chair report. Mayor Rose.
Staff report.
Staff report.
Most of the updates are mostly in my notes. I just want to remind everyone that we will not have our regular meeting on May 7th. That has been canceled so that the commissioners may attend as they wish the Connecticut DEP and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Hurricane Awareness Workshop. That's going to be held at Jonathan Law High School. The workshop could run from 5:30 to 8. There's a variety of speakers. It's being held for all of Demis Region 2. So it's kind of a big deal that we've got it in town. There is a link to register. Apparently they're providing snacks, so they want to know how many people are coming. So there's a link to register in the notes, and I'll probably send out another email. So given that we have that on May 7th, we won't be meeting here. Our next meeting is in about a month on May 21st. Other updates, we're working towards getting close to resolving the community rating system and hope to have that tidied up by the middle of May. Hazard Mitigation Group is working on the hurricane awareness webinar next month. And that's pretty much it. Sites are starting to work more. We're getting more complaints of erosion controls, people with drainage issues because debris has gotten clogged in drains over the winter. We're working with Public Works. We worked with Public Works in Orange today to try to get some of that cleared up. I'm working to try to get the federal stuff done and review some things for our May meeting, as well as working through some of these bond releases we have waiting. Does anyone have any questions for me? Nope. I think the
Looks
chair
like Brendan may have disconnected.
Yeah, he might have dropped off. It might have been a connection. And there he is. And he's back.
I'm not sure what happened. There was a screen that came up and said leave meeting, and I didn't click it. Okay. Did everybody else did nobody else got interrupted? Great.
I heard a couple of people click out, but I thought that was the Gradwells.
Yeah, it said leave meeting. Honestly, didn't click it. Okay. So on that note, are we at the chair's report?
Yes, we are.
Well, I'd like to thank Mary Rose for you taking good care of the applicant that came before us this evening, making sure that they were prepared, and also for the violation, supporting that ongoing matter. Thank you very much for your support there. And for everyone, thanks again for joining tonight. Your time is important. It's appreciated. That's it. Nothing further to add.
All right,
Our
I'll
next-
make
Make a motion that we adjourn.
There we
That
go.
motion.
We have a motion and a second. Lisa, roll call vote.
Daniel Bedecker,
Aye.
Brian Black,
Aye.
Jim Connors, Matthew Connors,
Aye.
Nick Ritchie,
Aye.
Nick, Julie
Aye, Jer-
Valvo. It's okay.
Aye.
Yep. Ray Gradwell,
Aye.
and Brenda Magnan.
Aye. Motion carries. Have a good night, everybody. Meetings
Thanks,
are.
Next
everybody.
meeting's May
Everybody.
21st. Thank you.
Have a happy Easter, everybody.
Happy
Celebrate.
Easter.
Happy Easter.